John Fredericks. He's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby.
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh yeah.
For entertainment purposes only.
Okay, great to have everybody with us. Another Saturday on Godzilla Wins. You know, this is the best damn sports and pig show you're going to find anywhere in America. Every Saturday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern. Hope you're tuned in to us now. Now, there's so many ways to get us. You can go to Apple TV. Well, if you've got a smart TV, you can get us right now on Roku, Fire Stick, or Apple TV. Just go to the App Store, put my name in, John Fredericks. Boom, it comes right up. Hit the download button. We're on TV. You got the big screen. Or you can get us on your app, jfmn.tv. Any of the apps that we have across our 23 radio stations across the country. And you can get us there. So there's so many ways to get us. Plus, we're on Getter Live, YouTube Live, Rumble Live, X Live, every single platform known to man right here. Godzilla Wins. And we are fired up today. We're fired up. Let me introduce my guests that are with us, and they'll be revolving in and out because we got more guests coming in the second hour. Some of these youngins can't get up at 9 o'clock on a Saturday after a night out on the town, I guess, or those watching the BYU game, West Virginia last night. I went to bed at the half, ready to cash my ticket, got up and got the score and promptly ripped my ticket up and threw it in the garbage. Two kinds of tickets, those that you cash in at the counter and those that you throw in the garbage. Last night was a garbage ticket. It's BYU did not cover. So money lifted from my pocket to some casino someplace in America. Anyway, it's good to have you with us. Even though we do talk about gambling and spreads, this is for entertainment purposes only. We want to entertain you. Now, we try to give you winners, obviously. But remember, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER. And if you are gambling, like many of us do here, me and Todd, I know do that, because Todd's a professional. So, Lumsden's a professional. But listen, it's all good. Just be sure you gamble responsibly, right? Only bet as much money as you can afford to lose, kind of like entertainment purposes. It's not Todd Lumsden, it's Matthew Lumsden, father, who's a friend of mine, who was texting me all night something about the opening of the NHL hockey thing or something. Your father, Matthew, is pretty pumped up about whatever is going on that he was texting me. I got like 20 texts from your father about every NHL pick he could ever have in the 2025-6 season. Anyway, it's good to have you with us. Also with us, Brendan Statler today. You can find Brendan on WVSportsNation.com, one of our writers. Brendan, also part of the John Fredericks Media Network sales team in West Virginia. So he's a big part of the company. And of course, the one and only coach, Vince Mayako, coach of Taft College, one of the big junior baseball colleges on the West Coast. In fact, they're going out to one of their fall games today. Also, his brother is the beat writer for the San Francisco 49ers. He's an insufferable 49ers fan, whatever. And but he is with us, Coach Vince Mayako. Minces no words. Plus, we're going to take your calls today because I actually got a good night's sleep last night. 888-48, not the one that has anything to do with the other. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. We want your calls. But look, we got a lot to go over today, guys. Lots going over. Let's just start with let's start with the I don't even know what's on the schedule, but can we start with we're supposed to talk about MLB playoffs. Okay, so I'm hosting the show today, and Mitch is out with his kids coaching soccer, and I get it. So my son Jack, the oldest, my older son, runs the whole sports network. He's a CEO, and he puts on this thing, John's monologue, MLB playoffs. Now, I could give a rat's ass about the MLB playoffs, so I'm not even going to do this. I'm going to just turn this over to Vince. As far as I'm concerned, baseball season's over. I have no idea who won last night. I think the Cubs beat somebody. I think they beat the Padres. That's what Sheriff Clark told me. He's pumped. I'm an Astro fan, and so I'm a hater. I hate everybody else. 1 minute after my team was eliminated a week ago Saturday, I'm done. I have no idea who wins, no idea who plays. I don't care. DK, don't care, don't know, don't care. So baseball season for me is over, and I'm getting ready for the Maryland Terps baseball season come this February. So I'm going to turn this monologue over to Vince Mayako. He can give you his thoughts on the MLB playoffs because I don't care. Go ahead, Vince.
John, pitchers and catchers report in 160 days. So there you go. There's when the Astros report to spring training. Yeah, with the 4 wild card matchups this last week, 3 of the 4 went to the final 3-game best of 3 series. The only one to sweep was the Dodgers taking care of the Reds. You look at now the divisional matchups, which I think is kind of interesting because I think in a lot of sports they try to avoid you playing your divisional opponent right off the bat. And in I think 2 of the 4 series, we have the Cubs and Brewers playing each other, obviously in the NL Central. And then of course you got the Blue Jays and the Yankees in the other divisional series in the American League. I believe, I don't have my numbers in front of me, but I believe both the Yankees and the Blue Jays had the 2 best records in the American League, and they got to face each other right off the bat in the divisional series. That's a tough draw for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays did win the tiebreaker this year against the Yankees by winning the most games against the Yankees. But boy, it sure matches up. I mean, you got some, Dodgers Phillies series should be a good one. And we look at the Tigers now going to Seattle. So you got 4 very interesting divisional matchups here starting today. And I know Matthew being a former collegiate baseball player, Matthew, your thoughts on the wild card series and the upcoming divisional series?
I'm gonna stick with the divisional series because as a diehard Red Sox fan, the last 72 hours to me were not the kindest. So I'm borderline with John now. I don't care until February. I guess that being said, I could be a Blue Jays fan because as much as I love the Red Sox, I hate the Yankees probably even more. So I will be cheering for the Blue Jays today. But no, I think the Blue Jays have their hands full. I think especially with the way that young kid threw the other night against Boston kind of gives the Yankees a third arm that looks like he's going to be the part. I think they're going to be tough to beat. I think that Seattle-Detroit series, it's going to be tough to go against Scooble, but I hope Seattle gets it done. And then the NL, I think, is wide open. I think Philly could be in trouble with no Wheeler, but I'm really excited for that Cubs-Brewers series. I think both those teams are very complete ball clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. And the interesting matchup, not just being divisional rivals, the Brewers and the Cubs, but the connection between the 2 managers where Pat Murphy was Craig Counsell's right-hand man for a number of years when Counsell was managing the Blue Jays. And in fact, to even flip the script, Counsell was a player of Pat Murphy at Notre Dame. So very interesting managerial connection there in that Brewers Cubs series. John, Brendan, anything you want to chime in here on the MLB playoffs?
To be honest with you, Coach, I'm a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, so we don't even know what MLB playoffs are. By this time of year, I just assumed that baseball season was over. So I'm kind of in the same boat as John. But and all kidding aside, I think there are some interesting matchups here and some very good matchups. You kind of already laid everything out, so I don't really want to repeat it. But I think the series I'm looking forward to the most is the Yankees and Toronto series. I think that's going to be the most exciting series of them all. I think that could go the distance, 7 games.
It's been a while since since Toronto has obviously went deep into the playoffs, and I think me and John can remember this back in the mid to late 80s when, or actually I think it was into the 90s, late
92,
80s into the
93.
90s when the Blue
90s
Jays
when,
won back to
92,
back.
93 with the Braves.
Yeah.
What's his name hit that 2-run homer
Joe
to win it?
Carter's walk-off home run against
Who was that?
Mitch
Who was that
Williams.
hit that walk off?
Yeah, Joe Carter versus
Yeah,
Mitch
Joe
Williams.
Carter off. He hit it off Wild Thing, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, Wild
Yeah,
Thing, right?
and I guess that probably the betting lines would say, you know, right now, it's a highly likely, you know, if things go their way, that you could actually see a Blue Jays Phillies matchup in this year's World Series. That's not a stretch from the imagination, but it should be some good baseball. Should be some really good baseball.
Thank God the baseball. See, I thought I was the only one that did this. This is why Matthew and I get along so well. Like our teams are out, we're done. I'm not that way on football. I'm not that way on anything else. Not that way on hockey. I mean, I watch Stanley Cups right to the end. If you know Penguins are out, they're out, and I'm a Penguins fan. But baseball's different. As soon as my team is out, like I will not watch it. So you guys will have to.
The fun fact for this last one is, I'm sure Coach knows it. In the wild card series, since the best of 3 started, there's been 14 series, or I guess 15 now, go to game 3. The first 14, the winner of game 1 was 14 for 14 winning it. The Red Sox fantastically ruined that streak. So yeah, that was a tough pill to swallow. But I mean, I guess you put up 0 runs, you ain't going to win many games, isn't that right?
I guess that's kind of the way it is, right? 0
0 runs ain't going to get you in the win column. So
no, it's not. But look, I can't wait till college baseball starts, and I know you guys follow that obviously in West Virginia now. Joe's in Maryland, so you know it's a lot of fun following it, and especially get to talking to him when he has a bullpen and kind of tells me how he did, and I think they got a scrimmage coming up against Georgetown. Right here in Washington, D.C. That's right, Georgetown. So Ann and I were like 2 metro stops away. Obviously, it's a pretty neat. I'm not going to lie. You know, we don't even have to drive. You go to the Maryland games. It's 20 minutes on the metro. You never even get in your car. You're right there. It's a pretty neat thing. So we'll see what happens. Guys, let's move off of baseball. I really don't care who wins. And I did feel sorry for you Red Sox, because I just happened to see through the wire they got shut out the other night, and I was thinking about you, dude. But let's move on. Baseball season's over. Okay, WNBA drama. Nafisa Collier blasts Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and entire WNBA leadership in a blistering video, she was live. She blasted the entire WNBA leadership, the commissioner, how they do it, the pay, what's going on. But I'm not going to run the clip here because it's a little long. But what I was impressed with, guys, is Kathy Engelbert. Her comebacks were brilliant. Basically, when Collier was blasting about the refs, she says, "Well, normally when you lose, you blame the refs, and they lost. So it goes." Then she said, the refs, the girls are too physical. And then she said, "Well, you're playing professional basketball, like woman up." Then she says, "We don't make enough money, and look at all we brought to the sport." And then Engelbert says, "Well, wait a minute, Caitlin makes what'd you say, $130 million in she makes Clark makes $137 million this year in sponsorships that she wouldn't have been able to do had the WNBA not given her the platform. So shut up and stick it." What a battle here going on in the WNBA, guys. I just want to get you to weigh in. I thought it was epic, but I thought Engelbert was like in your face, right back at her. Let's start. Who wants to start?
I'll start. You guys, both Lumsden and Fredericks there, bashing on baseball. The season's over. Hey, the WNBA season never even started for me. Okay, that's where I'm at.
Coach.
Hey, you know what? Caitlin Clark was making bank at the University of Iowa, and she probably would have made more money had she stayed and got her NIL, and she would still be, spokesperson for Nike and all the other stuff, State Farm and all the other stuff. But let's be honest, okay? If Caitlin Clark's not in the NBA, we're not even having this discussion right now. we're talking more about the MLB playoffs than we are the WNBA. So anyhow, I got that off my chest, John.
Matthew?
No, I'll second that. I think it's borderline comical at this point that every WNBA player just throws these hypocritical hissy fits about it's too physical, but Caitlin Clark's getting absolutely bashed every game. Couldn't even play, I think, half a season this year because she's hurt from all the freaking flagrant fouls that nobody wants to call, complaining about the pay. Well, you finally have your quote-unquote LeBron, the face of the league. Somebody's bringing attention, bringing revenue, and all they do is crap on it. They don't want a part of it. They just bring her down. They drag her down. That is your source of income right there. You have your golden ticket, and you don't want to take it. I mean, I'm with Coach on this one. I have no interest in listening to anything about the WNBA. I certainly am not going to watch it. I'm all in on MLB playoffs after this discussion now.
I am so glad I'm not the only one that feels this way.
Go ahead.
I agree with Coach and Matthew 100%. I have never had any respect for the WNBA, and the biggest reason is this. They always complain they don't make as much as the men. Well, the WNBA doesn't generate any revenue. It is subsidized by the NBA. That is the only reason they exist. And they crap on the NBA and their players. They don't make as much money as it should have went away years ago. I don't have respect for the league. Never will.
You know, it doesn't make any money.
Exactly.
They don't get paid. The league, the teams lose money. Putting games on.
It is
John,
they pay for everything. They
John,
lose money.
what do we always say in West Virginia? 0 times 0.
Hey, John, you'll love this one. The WNBA is the Jimmy Kimmel of professional sports.
I mean, I agree with you guys. I mean, what a clown show. And all they do is whine and bitch. And it's like, I have fallen in love with Commissioner Kathy Engelbert because I love people that just fight back and tell you the truth. And she's not like, she's not afraid of the media. She's not afraid of being, she's not afraid of the woke mob. She's like, look, we don't make any money. We give you guys $80,000. You go out and sell your stuff. Caitlin Clark's making $137 million this year. There's no WNB. She doesn't make that. So go out and find a sponsor. What the hell you want from me? And, we're losing money. I remember back in my career, some sales manager coming to me in one of my divisions that I think I was at McClatchy newspaper. It was like, it was sucking eggs. I mean, we were losing money and he wanted a raise. And I looked at the spreadsheet. I'm like, dude, we lost 120,000 this month with you. I could lose 120,000 without you. I'm not going to give you a raise. Like, we're losing money. They don't make any money. You can't get anything. Go and stop whining about the refs. Oh my God, that's all they do. It's a physical game. And if you don't want to play it, they'll find somebody else to play. So I think we're on the same page here, but I have fallen in love with Kathy Engelbert. I wanted her to run for like Congress or something. That's the kind of person we need in government. Like, screw you, stop whining, make the league profitable, and then we'll sit down and have a convo. And oh, by the way, isn't it interesting? The only people that whine about the officiating is the teams that lose. Teams that win, I never hear peep out of them about the officiating. They like the officiating. That's what she said. I mean, it's absolute classic. So we need more Kathy Engelberts, guys. Any final words on that?
I don't think they deserve any more words.
No.
You guys are so bad.
Man, I love this group.
I have so much fun because we tell the truth. The truth, my friends, will set you free. Speaking of the truth, look, you guys tune us in. I want you to help my friend. He called me the other day. I called Mike Lindell from My Pillow. Called me the other day just to see how I was doing. Like, this guy's like, it's like he might run for governor of Minnesota. He just calls me up out of the blue, and I'm like, okay, there must be a problem. I'm like, hey, Mike, what's up? He's like, I just called to see how you're doing. So I'm doing fine, thanks. Yeah, I heard you were sick. Like, yeah, okay, I got a call. I mean, you are okay? How's Joe doing? This guy's a salt of the earth, man. And his company is a cash company. It's as simple as that. There's no middleman. They debanked him. He's got great products. Right now, I got my Pillow slippers on, right? It's Saturday. I'm not putting shoes on, man. I got my Pillow slippers on right here. Now, MyPillow and Mike Lindell, founding sponsors of Godzilla Wins, are excited to announce they're having their biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you're not going to find anywhere else. Mike loves our listeners on Godzilla Wins and our viewers, and he agrees with all of us that we have the best sports audience in America. Check this out. MyPillow bed sheets, $29.88, Vince. Any color, any size, even kings, regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone, Vince and Tammy, they're gone for good. So I know Tammy's tuning us in, Tammy. You got to tell your husband, get these. Oh, and Tammy, you got to get the My Towels, right? Brendan Statler doesn't care about towels. He
Oh, no, I got them, John. I got them.
You got those towels?
I got the towels.
Those towels are, tell me those towels are now phenomenal.
They are great.
Yeah, My Towels are finally back in stock. You get a 6-piece towel set, regular $70, now only $39.98. And for the first time ever, you get a limited edition premium My Pillows with Giza cotton and a designer gousset or gousset. Maybe that's French. I have no idea. Queen $17.98, Kings $19.88. Also for a limited time, when you order over $100, free shipping. Now, here's what you have to do. Vince, I know you can do this on the bus going to your game. Go to mypillow.com. That's mypillow.com, or call 800-854-0504. Use promo code Godzilla. That's promo code Godzilla for the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now, 800-854-0504. Promo code Godzilla, or go to mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla, and you get it right there, and you guys are good to go. Okay, let's get to college football, guys. Let's start with a game last night. BYU versus West Virginia University. BYU was minus 20.5. They did not cover, although the first half, it seemed to me, if they played BYU 100 times, BYU would beat them 100 times. They just, I guess, got a garbage touchdown at the end to beat the cover. But where's West Virginia football headed here, Brandon?
I mean, like I said before, this year is a throwaway. That's what West Virginia needs to remember. I mean, the entire roster is new for the most part. The entire coaching staff is new. This year just is what it is, all right? I trust that Rich Rod is going to turn this team into a winner within the coming years. I mean, you look at his coaching history, he leaves his mark everywhere he has went. So I think people in Morgantown just need to be patient with him. I mean, this year's been ugly. There's no other way to say it. And it's going to continue to be ugly. But the biggest thing I am looking for this season is not necessarily wins and losses. How is the team performing on the field? Are they showing signs of improvement? And even though they lost yesterday by, 14 points? Did that end up being the final? They showed way more fight than they did in the last 2 weeks. Those are the kind of things I'm looking for. But to sum up your question, I do have faith that Rich Rod is going to put a competitive team on the field in the coming years.
Matthew?
Yeah, obviously, I think Brandon's going to speak a lot more knowledgeable about West Virginia football than I will. But I will say, from what I've watched, I would challenge Country Roads Trust, Blue and Gold Enterprises. I mean, spend some money. Your quarterback play has been abysmal from what I've watched. Jaheim White is out, who I personally think is a stud. So that's going to be a huge blow to the offense. But the limited West Virginia football I've watched, they have no quarterback. And I mean, that's evident. And I think anybody that watches football closely at all, you can't win without a quarterback. It's just not going to happen. And the quarterback play has been atrocious. So, I mean, I challenge the alumni, the donors, go buy a quarterback. That's the era we're in. You buy a quarterback, things could change real quick.
What do you think of that, Vince?
Yeah, I agree. 28-10 at halftime last night, correct, Brendan?
Yes.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw. And you know what? It could have been with a 28-10 halftime deficit. You know, a lot of teams would have just thrown in the towel. And I'll give the Mountaineers credit. They battled hard, and they got it within 2 touchdowns, I think, midway through the fourth, I believe, maybe the start of the fourth. And going, hey, they got a turnover here, and then they got a 1-score game, and anything can happen. And ultimately, it ended up being, you know, a 2-score game. But they showed some fight in the second half. I'll give them credit for that, because that's difficult. I mean, short week, essentially flying cross country, playing in elevation in Provo, Utah, and being down by 18 at the half. I'll give Rich Rod, his staff, and the players credit. They battled hard in the second half, and you know, you look down the road with their schedule. Boy, they've got a tough schedule. Man,
Yes.
there's no gimmies in that schedule. Even Colorado, you kind of like, well, that might be a game, but that's going to be a tough game
Now,
too. Colorado,
they're not going to win a game.
Colorado played BYU tough last week and
Yeah,
probably should have beat
they're not going to
BYU.
win a game. They're not going to win another game. But I agree with all you guys. They showed fight last night. They got in the. I went to bed after the first half, but they got 2 turnovers. They got an interception. Then they forced a fumble off a lateral. I mean, they showed fight, and I think that's what Rich Rod's looking for. I think if you're a Mountaineer fan now, you have to temper your expectations, right? Get through this season, get more money, buy a better roster. Right now, their roster can't compete in the Big 12, and I said that on the video the other day. It isn't about the coaching; it's about they don't have the roster, and they don't have a quarterback. So get the money, raise it, buy it, and I think next year is going to be very, very, very different. But I don't think they're going to win another game. But it's not like that's the end of the world, right? They beat Pitt. They beat Pitt.
At least we beat Pitt. We're happy about
They
that.
won the backyard brawl, and I mean, I think Coach is spot on, which is why I love having him on here, because you get a coach's insight, and all sports are related in that aspect. The culture is there. That is evident. You could have rolled last night and lost by 40. And I mean, at the end of the day, John's spot on. They don't have the talent. But you get Jaheim White back, you go buy a quarterback with that culture and that mindset. They've got the fight. It can flip real quick. You can go from a 3-win team to an 8-win team in a year. That's not unheard of. I mean, I think the pieces are there, the foundation. You just got to go get those game-changing players. That's all you need.
I mean, I think last night might have been a turning point for them because they're all banged up. Everybody's hurt. And they went up there and they showed spunk and they didn't quit. And you nailed it. He's created a culture, but it's going to take time. He's got all new players. My biggest fear is the whole thing turns over again, right? I mean,
that would be a disaster.
It's kind of like WVU baseball, but baseball's different now. They got a couple of returning players, Matthew, your brother being one of them. They got Chase Meyer back, but again, the entire roster is turning over, right? Over half the team went in the portal. Some are going to get cut by Sabins. He's got 15, 20 new players in. This is the way college athletics is now. I think Sabins can maybe, this coach Sabins baseball, maybe can sustain that for a while in baseball. You can't sustain it in football. You can't do it. You have to have some core, I believe, that you develop and comes back, not the extent that Debo tries to do. Okay, guys, let's move on and start picking some winners, okay, because I'm getting a little tired of loser city. Okay, so let's pick some winners, and let's start with a 3:00 game. Got Coastal Carolina at Old Dominion. Old Dominion shocking everybody. They're minus 19.5 over Coastal Carolina at home in Norfolk. Let's start with Matthew.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I want to say week 1, I highlighted Old Dominion and Ohio as my 2 sleeper kind of mid-majors. Colton Joseph's a stud, the Old Dominion quarterback. I like them at home. Coastal showed up, I think it was against South Al last week, for the first time all year that they even looked like a competent football team. But I'm going to lean Old Dominion here. I think that they've got the players, and I think, to John's point, they're sneaky in that Power 5 discussion here. If they can run the table, get a couple big wins, I mean, their losses aren't anything to kind of dwell on. I mean, it's Indiana. They've got some Power 5 losses, Power 4 losses, but I like Old Dominion to cover today.
Vince?
Yeah. Boy, Matthew's on top of it. Their most impressive result was probably their loss against Indiana. When you think about it,
week 1, 13
because
points.
now Indiana, see what Indiana did to Illinois absolutely blew me. I had Illinois in that game, and it was done by the end of the first quarter. Yep. Indiana is a good football team, and I'm telling you, Old Dominion had their chances in that game. And I know that 19 and a half, so that's a lot of points, but man, how do you bet against Old Dominion in this one? I don't think you do. It's got to be Old Dominion.
Took care of Virginia Tech by like 20 as a 5-point underdog. I mean,
well, it got their coach fired. It got their what is it? Their NIL trust people, the donors to step up with another, what was it, $250 million that they all pulled together and said either we're going to have a football team or not. So that was quite the beatdown that Virginia Tech had. It's changed their program. Statler, You going to
Yeah.
lay the 19.5 or take it?
I'm gonna lay it. I'm gonna take it. I mean, I think they're gonna. I'm gonna take Old Dominion at 19 and a half, right?
Yep.
Yep. I'm gonna take it.
Okay,
Hey
we're all
guys,
gonna.
if Old Dominion runs the table, are they the top team left in the group of 5 to make the college playoffs?
I think.
They,
I think.
they
I
definitely have
think
to be in
so.
discussion.
Yeah,
I know
I think
Memphis
so, too.
was the front runner last I looked. I think there was a couple more in the mix, but if you're 11-1 and your only loss is a 13-point loss week 1, so at that point 3 months ago to a good Indiana team, they're definitely high up in the discussion, in my opinion.
Yeah, they can't. I don't think in that scenario they're going to get screwed. And I like that. Look, they play in it's a mid-major conference, but it's a competitive conference, right? Old Dominion's in what's that? The American Conference.
Sun Belt's a good conference.
Yeah, I mean the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
It's a competitive conference they're in, and a lot of good teams in there. So we're all over Old Dominion for this one. Let's get to Big 12. The Buffs and Dion go to Texas Christian University. TCU minus 13.5. Who wants to start? I can't say this even with a straight face.
Well,
Who
I
wants
got to see
start in that?
TCU.
Who's going to actually tell me that Colorado can win this game? Can anybody even go there?
I can't, John. I got to see TCU last week in Tempe against Arizona State. And even though Arizona State won that game, I was left with the impression the best team didn't win that game. I'm looking at the physical talent that TCU has. Their offensive line is massive. And I mean, they are massive. And their quarterback play is outstanding. Hoover is probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks in college football. And remember, 2 years ago, Coach Prime took over the program. Their first game, they go to the not defending national champs. They made it to the college football championship game, and they beat TCU at TCU in week 0. And I think deep down, TCU remembers that. They're coming off of a loss at Arizona State, and let's be honest, TCU probably has to win this game, and to have a shot at making the playoffs. This line should be higher. It should be higher, and Horned Frogs all the way in this one.
Statler?
Yeah, I have to agree with Coach on everything here. This is a must-win game for TCU. I think they're the far better team. I take TCU all the way.
All right.
13.5.
Mr. Lumsden.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate that we're 2 games in and we've got no debating going on. But no, Coach knows ball. Josh Hoover's a stud. He is extremely underrated. And Colorado went to Houston, I want to say this was 2-3 weeks ago, and lost by 16. TCU is light years better than Houston. No disrespect to Connor Wegman and the boys down there, but TCU is a lot better, and I think that they're going to handle Colorado in convincing fashion today.
Listen, I'm going to lay the 13.5. Like as soon as this show's over, I got this. This is did I tell you guys about this? So my studio is right by my house. Right, we're right by the White House here in DC. This is where we live. So 1 block away, right across the park, there's a liquor store. Right, which you go, you buy your wine and stuff, and all great people. I love the people there. We go, Ann and I go there all the time. In fact, we have a special wine that they actually ordered for us. So it's like we have our own wine distributor. It's kind of sick. But in there, they have they have I think it's a Caesar's, they have a kiosk, right? Like it's a kiosk. You put your money in and it all comes up on the screen and you make your bets right there. And if you win, under a certain amount, like it's thousands of dollars, you got to take it to the casino. But if it's just like, $100 or something, you just give the ticket to the guy behind the counter, he cashes it out. It is the funniest thing. So, and it's like 1 block from here. So as soon as this show's over, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my kiosk. I'm going to lay 19.5 on Old Dominion. I'm going to lay 13.5 on Texas Christian. I'm going to go from there. So that we're all picking the same teams, but I just think that is the funniest thing. Then just one little thing I'm going to complain about. There's only 1 kiosk. So if you get there, like there's some people that will put like $2 in the machine and they'll bet like 9,000 10-cent soccer parlays. So you're sitting there for an hour waiting for them. It's like, dude, make your bet and go like I do. It's unbelievable. I don't want to complain about that. Okay. Kentucky at Georgia, UGA, all these spreads, UGA minus 19 and a half. What do you guys make of this?
Boy, who's the better team? I know you talk about pick the better team, and there's no question Georgia's the better team, but golly, that on the flip side of things, I think that's too many points, isn't it?
Agree.
Georgia wins, but Kentucky covers.
I don't like this game. Everybody is picking Georgia because they think it's a bounce back. How do you bounce back then? Like this idea that, Alabama came in between the hedges and kicked our ass and beat us, and now we're going to bounce back and lay the wood on Kentucky. I just don't even see how that logic works, guys. What do you think, Matthew?
No, I agree. I think 19 is a lot to lay here. I think I'm personally not going to touch it, but I do think my main concern is for Georgia, to your point of it being a so-called bounce back game. I think at some point perception is going to be reality. They lost a game last week that I personally think they shouldn't have lost. Got off to a slow start, could have kicked the field goal to tie the game at the end, didn't. And Kentucky's not good. I mean, call it what it is. I think their only wins are over inferior teams. It's like Eastern Kentucky and Toledo. I think that eventually if UGA only sneaks out with a 7-point win here, people are going to start questioning them. I think that this is a game that they need to cover, and they need to cover convincingly, but I'm not going to touch it. I think that's too many points in an SEC game.
I just don't like this game. Ever see a game where it's like, if I bet Kentucky, I'm going to get blown out. If I bet Georgia, Kentucky will score at the end and lose by 19, and I'll tear my ticket up. Ever get one of those games? You just know who